Hi, this is Debbie. Welcome to Mama Alice Emporium. Today we're going to be doing the project with Destination Me, uh, um, creating the bones of your focus notebook. If you've been with us, you've been following along, you've already created a basic mind map, and then you went on to use a mind map to create the sections of your life that you wanted to focus on during the following month, 30, 60, 90 days or so. I had posted pictures yesterday in the group, the diagrams that I'm going to show. I'm going to try to go over them and address any questions that I think you might have. All right, first we had here just basically my cover sheet, creating the bones of a focus notebook. Okay, if you'll look at this sheet, I'm going to show it real quick here. It is actually posted in the group, and I'm going to talk about it. Your focus notebook is going to be a tool. You don't really want to clutter it up with artwork as much as we all are creatives and they're pretty. This is going to be a tool to help you focus on the things that are important to you in the coming time period. You can add maybe color coding or a little color on the title pages or your motivational page. Just a little color here and there, but no major artwork, nothing distracting. I would suggest that you choose a notebook that is a size first appropriate to your handwriting. If you write large, you wouldn't want a small notebook, but then a size that you're apt to carry along with you. That way, if you find yourself somewhere and you have a few spare moments, you can pull out your notebook and see if there's anything that you can do on your focus list, that time would allow. And you can also check that focus list to see if there's anything else you needed to focus on that particular day or what you have coming up. You need to determine whether you want to make this notebook for 30 days, 45 days, or 60 days. I really wouldn't recommend any longer than that to start with. Maybe 30 to 45 days, because you're going to maybe want to change up the notebook a little bit as you use it. It may need a few tweaks here and there. Next, are you going to, you chose 4 or 5 areas to focus on. Do you want to blend all those areas together, or do you want to separate each area in a separate section in the notebook? That's something to ask yourself. If you're like me, you kind of like to look at your week or look at your day and see all the things in one place. But if you have a lot of stuff going on, you might want to sort out the different things in sections. Say you have a lot of reading projects going on. You might need an entire section for that. It might not work to blend everything together. That's something that you really need to think about. Everybody's going to have their unique take on that. You need to do what's best for you. You want to make your notebook uniquely yours. You can use any kind of notebook. We're looking at maybe 45, 60, 90 pages, 100 pages at most. It can be a simple composition notebook. I actually had picked up a little small mini composition notebook for like 50 cents on clearance. You don't have to use anything fancy. You can use the Traveler's Notebook insert. If you get a ring binder, use a section of your ring binder for the focus notebook. Whatever works. Don't go out and spend a lot of money. Just use whatever you have, make do. Make it something that you will use. All right, we're moving on to, when you first open your notebook, you're going to have the page here. When you first open it, you have the page, and then you have your other page to the other side. This is a picture of an open notebook. This diagram is also in the group. This is the first page of the actual notebook. All right, if you will look on your left-hand side, I would suggest maybe some motivational quotes over there. Something that keeps you motivated, something that makes you happy. Maybe on the right-hand side, a picture or another quote. Just something colorful and pretty there. That's where your artwork's going to go. Right there in the inside your cover on your first page, right in that area, Those two facing pages, that's where your artwork and your motivation needs to go, right there. All right, moving on. Next page, if you flip on over, again, this diagram is posted in the group. I'm going to discuss it. On your left, you might want to put a picture or draw a little quick sketch of your focus mind map that you drew to create your focus notebook, just for something to go back and refer to see where your original focus was. The right side of the page could be used for an index to find things in your notebook, or it can be used just as a miscellaneous page for whatever you want to use it for. Again, you're making this focus notebook your own. It is a tool. It's going to help keep you on track toward your goals and your intentions for the next time period coming up. Okay, the next two pages that I'd shown are an October map, and then I had actually shown a November map. Okay, what I would suggest is you have at least 1 month on 2 pages in there. You're going to be using this maybe to put things on it that you can see at a glance, repeat tasks, special events, maybe some tracking on there. That's what you want to use those 2 pages for, and for reference, so you can see the whole month up close. I start my week on Mondays, so I color code, as you probably see, to break up the weeks. My Monday through Saturday is one color, and then I start another color. That's the way I break up the week, so I can look down and see this is what's within that week. If you're going to do 30 or 45 days, I still would really recommend that you have 2 months in your notebook, the current month and the month to come. If you're going to do 60 days, I would suggest 3 months. Again, that's a month on 2 pages, facing pages. The extra columns you can use for little bits of artwork, maybe there. That would be allowed because it's not real distracting. Or some notes, or maybe special things that you want to remember for that month. Again, you want to make this notebook your own. Okay, you want to get creative and just make the notebook something that will be a useful tool for you, something that will work for you and help you stay focused. Okay, if you flip on over after your monthly page sections, you're going to have your accountability pages. Okay, we've allowed 2 facing pages here. We want them to be facing pages. You're going to use them to just very briefly outline your goals, your deadlines, your intentions, how you plan to succeed in getting these things done during the coming time period. We don't want it to be anything fancy or too detailed. What you're doing here is you're just setting out your intentions to the universe, to yourself. You're making a promise to yourself on these 2 pages. You want to write it down, then you want to just shut the pages, and you want to forget about them. Because writing down plans, goals, it tends to make it stick in your brain better. You tend to, think about it more. But I might even suggest that these 2 pages maybe be paper clipped together, and then when you're all the way done, go back and look and see really what happened. And if you really did, stick to those goals and intentions, and how you did. All right, next. If you're only going to do one section, you will only have one of these. If you're going to break up your notebook into sections for each of your focus areas, you will have one of these at each beginning section, of course. All right, on the left-hand side, you're going to have maybe a quote and a piece of artwork there, and another quote or a piece of artwork on your title page, as well as the name of your section, if you are going to break it into different sections for your areas of focus. Again, 2 facing pages. In the very start of your section, you're going to have a place for detailed goals. This is where you're going to go through, and you can maybe break this down into the sections that you're using if you're only going to have one big thing and you're not going to break it up into different tabs. You're going to have this detailed goal at every single section if you break it up into sections. But at any rate, this is where you're going to put your goals down in great detail of what you hope to accomplish in each area. This is where you get really down and dirty and go into little bits and pieces of what you want done and how you want it done and everything. You want to just set out everything on paper. Next, we're going to get to the actual date book part of our focus notebook. This is an example of the first format you might use. Again, it's posted in the group. I would recommend that you have, always on the left, that you have a section there for general notes and general goals. What I do is I put my goals on that side of the left-hand side of the paper, and as the week progresses, I use the right-hand side, which is either a daily page or divided into an entire week on a page. I use the right-hand side to actually write down the things as they're happening, as I've done them, sort of as a way to track them. And I go a step further because I go and I color code. At the end of the week, I go back and I color code, and I will take the things that I've actually done versus the goals that I set, and I will color code these things that I've done to see what actually happened, how many goals I actually did, and what goals I actually did by looking at my color key. That's something you don't have to do. It works for me. It doesn't necessarily work for everybody. Another way, if you're blending sections together, might be this format. Again, it's posted in the group. If you are going to just do one day, a day on a page instead of a full week on a page, you might want to, again, if you're doing a blended notebook, you might want to break it down into sections. This particular one has 4 sections listed. That way you can go through and you can write down what goals you achieved in each section, or what goals you want to achieve in each section. Again, you want to make it your own. You want to do what works for you. You might even want to do maybe your first week or so in pencil so that you can tweak it here and there. I mean, just a thought. The number of these sets of pages that you're going to need are going to depend on when you're starting, when you're stopping, how many days you're using. But you want the facing pages for each day or each week, however you decide. Again, get creative, do what works for you. When you're all the way done and you're at the end of your notebook and you're at the end of your time period, be it 30, 45, 60, 90 days, you're going to come to the last page, which is your recap page, again posted in the group. On the recap page, what you want to do is go back. You want to kind of flip through your notebook and you want to get an idea of how things went. It's going to help you plan a future focus notebook or even plan a different way to meet your goals. You can blend all the areas in this recap, or if you're doing separate sections, you might want to do a recap for each section. When the period ends, you want to look and you want to see what went right, what went wrong, what obstacles you had. If you'll notice, if you'll go back and look on my color coding, I have a color especially for things that interrupted my day or things that caused problems. That particular color I use for that, so I can look and say, well, look, this is what caused this to go wrong. And you want to look back and you want to pull open those pages back in the beginning where your detailed goals were and your accountability and all, and you want to look and see, did I meet my goals? Did I actually reach those deadlines? Were my intentions met? Hopefully this focus notebook will be a tool that will help you. Hopefully it will help you meet your deadlines, your goals, your intentions, if you make sure and you go through all the steps and you do everything in it. I know it's a lot of detail, but if you get it set up and you tweak it here and there to meet your special needs, it's a really great tool. This is not a planner, again. We don't want to use it as a planner. Use it only as a tool to focus. That's why I suggest that you carry it around with you. It will be like your dashboard for everything else. You may have 10 different things going on in 10 different binders, 10 different traveler's notebooks. This will tell you what notebook you need to look in and where you need to be focusing, what you need to get done. That's kind of all for the focus notebook. I'd really love to see some pictures and maybe if you would post and tell us how you're doing and how you decided to do it, what size notebook you decided to use. If you think it will work for you, just give us a few thoughts in the group. I'd love to know. And something else while I'm already on here, November is going to be fun. I'm going to bump up our junk journal project to November because we're fast running out of time. We're going to be continuing on Your Heart's Desire. Don't forget on Thursday, homework is due on that. I'll be putting up probably a discussion conversation for everybody, so we won't spoil it for everybody else. But we're also going to make a mini holiday binder and hopefully get into some creative lettering that'll help you with your holiday projects. And I have a few other surprises. Anyway, it's been a really good chatting here with you. I hope this focus notebook is a tool that you will be able to use in a time to come. If you have any questions, please feel free to post them. Thank you so much, and have a beautiful day. Later.